I'm gonna enjoy some of these, one of these yeast rolls. And let me taste, that way I can give my assessment while we're still on. Oh, it smells so good. That is good. That is very good, actually. Oh man, put a little bit of jelly on here. Oh, this is ridiculous. Oh, okay. I love yeast rolls. So today I decided that what I do is make some yeast rolls from my search on YouTube. What I found is that some of the recipes varied greatly. Some of them had 1 to 2 packets of yeast, 1/4 to 5, 1/8 to 5/8 cup of sugar, 1/2 to 2 teaspoons of salt, 2.5 to 6 cups of flour, 1/2 to 1 1/3 cup of milk, 4 to 24 tablespoons of butter, and 1 to 3 eggs. And when we came up with the final recipe, we ended up with, our recipe today will have 2 packets of yeast, 1/2 cup of sugar, 1 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 4 1/4 cup of flour, which may vary depending on temperatures and humidity, 1 cup of milk, 14 tablespoons or 1 3/4 sticks of butter, and 2 eggs. So let's get started. Okay, so first let's activate our yeast. In order to do that, this is a brand new container of yeast. I think I didn't have to say that actually, but I think you can obviously tell that. And it is active yeast. According to our recipe, we require 2 packets or 4.5 teaspoons. Okay, 1 teaspoon, 3, 4.5. All right, we'll go ahead and set this one to the side. We're done with this ingredient. Next, what we need in here is the milk. So it's 1 cup of milk. So I have whole milk. I'll take 1 cup. All right, we'll stir this up because this needs to be in here for about 5. Now we could put some of our sugar inside of here to help the yeast grow or activate, but we also already have some sugar already inside of the milk, natural sugars. Okay, now get this all dried out to get it ready for the flour. There we go. All right, now we'll go ahead and get some of our other ingredients ready while we're letting this one here rest and foam up. So it says that we need 1/2 cup of sugar. Okay, 1/2 cup of sugar. All right, and now 1 1/4 of salt. The important thing about the salt that I was told on all of the sites is that the salt helps to keep the yeast under control. 1. I'm going to put it in here just because it's going to end up mixed with the flour anyway eventually. And 1/4 teaspoon of salt. All right. Next, it's 14 tablespoons. 12. 13. 14. That is the butter. 13 tablespoons. All right. Let me see here. Stir this just a little bit more. It's getting a little frothy in here. Oh, that's good. Looking good. Alrighty. So I'm going to give this one a little bit of heat that kind of melted just a little. I melted enough so that some of it melted and some of it stayed solid, and I'm just going to stir this up. It'll give me something to do while I'm waiting the last couple of minutes for Mr. Yeast over here to do its thing. Oh, this butter is looking good. That's good. All right, here is our melted butter. Good, huh? I know. Nice and creamy. Okay, now the ingredients that we have left to add is our salt, our eggs, our sugar, and our flour. Oh, I can't forget about Mr. Butter here. So we'll get Mr. Butter in there, and let's start mixing our ingredients. You can see in here, when I first moved it, that there was a little bit. It's ready to go. So put all of our little ingredients. So we have our sugar, which is a half a cup. Yep, half a cup. We have our salt, which is 1 1/4 teaspoon. Slow down this yeast a little bit, moving too fast. We have our 2 eggs, okay, at room temperature, and hopefully I don't drop any shells in here. I'm gonna stir this up, mix the eggs in a little bit. Okay, now I'm gonna continue to stir this, but I'm going to add the butter in. Mix that mix. Oh, I can't wait to taste these. It's gonna be so good. Let me make this. Now that I have my wet mixture, I am going to add the flour. And it's 4 1/4 cup. So let's do this. Okay. That's our 1/4. And I need to get the bag open wider than this if I plan on getting these things done today. All right, 4. So part of my plan is to build some of this on the counter as well, only because I'm going to need it to kind of knead the dough. Oh, that's funny. I'm going to need it to knead the dough. Okay, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, and that's 4. All right, so I'm just going to mix this flour. This is looking good. Here we go. Still moist. And I'm just going to deal with it because when I put it here on this flour, I'll use that opportunity to get rid of some of the moisture. Okay, there we go. All right, so I greased the pan and I let this set for a little bit. I think I'm ready now. Oh, it actually, I guess I didn't even think about that. It actually rose a little bit. And that's probably just a reminder. That's actually what I was supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to let this stuff set and rise. So let me, before I get too far ahead of myself, let this set and rise for a little bit, and then I'll be right back. Ooh, this is going to be good. Okay, now it's still a little wet, so I'm actually going to knead it a little bit, and then I'll set it to the side to rest, and that's when I'll let it rise. Meanwhile, we're preheating the oven, and by we I mean me. All right, here we go. Okay, so it's been about 30 minutes or so. It's about double the size that it was before. So it's a little bit bigger, and it is ready to go. So I'll do a little more kneading. It's nice and soft. Notice I did the kneading instead of punching the air out. All right, so we're running out of flour on here, so I better get ready to cut this into whatever it's going to be cut into, because this is going to need to set for a little bit once I put it inside of this little container. I'm calling it a container, but it's actually the little pan. So it's been oiled and it is ready to go. There are 12 little slots here, so I'm going to need 12 evenly distributed pieces from here. Almost ready to cut it. Okay, now let me see, 1, 2, 3. All right, so 1, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Some of this I'll have to share down here on this end, obviously, because it's not as even as I wanted it to be. All right, So, first one, little folds, little circles. There we go. Grab this other one, save some for you. Okay, fold, fold. I think some of this that's coming out of here is probably all that butter that we put in there. So these are probably going to be nice and rich. Alright, there we go. To a nice little ball there. Okay, well, those first ones I put in were really small compared to these, but that's okay. They're going to get eaten all the same. I probably, in hindsight, should have waited to start preheating the oven, because now the oven has been on for quite a bit of time. That's that sound that you hear in the background. I'll probably turn it off for a little bit while I let these rise for a little bit, and then I'll put them in the oven. So I let the yeast rows set out and rise, and they actually got quite fluffy. So now it's time to put them in the oven and let them cook for about 20 minutes at 350 degrees. And after that, I'll bring them out and butter them up and taste them. Okay? Alright, welcome back. We are now finished with the yeast rolls. They look really delicious. I can't wait to taste them. I did find out some of that information that I told you that I was going to look for, and it looks like for one of these rolls it is 347 calories with 15.6 grams of fat, 44.3 grams of carbs, and 7.9 grams of protein. So you may be able to get this to fit in to whatever your meal plan is, or however you eat, if you are tracking calories or meal macros. Okay, so I'm just rubbing some butter on here, and of course this additional butter was not included in that calculation. So of course, if you're adding butter to the top, which I love adding butter to yeast rolls, then you might want to add those additional calories and fats and whatever else. Okay? Alright. So let's take a look. I'm just trying to get some butter into some of these while they're still super hot. Alright. Let's see what they look like. I'll take one of these actually. Okay. Nice and golden brown. Okay, we'll take a look at another one of the big ones. Oh, one of the big ones. I have to separate it actually. Okay, nice golden brown. Nice little mushroom toadstool. Okay, there we go. You might be able to see some of the steam coming off. I'm not sure if you can. I can see it coming right off, but I'm not sure if you can. But look at the quality of, wow. I hope that these yeast rolls have done those grandmothers that I mentioned earlier proud. We'll see how it tastes, but I'm sure that it is delicious. Now I will put the recipe in the sidebar along with those calories and macros that I just told you. If you like this video, please support by subscribing and pressing so that others may see and share in this same experience and be able to get these recipes. There will be many more videos coming. I do appreciate your time, and you have a good rest of your evening. I'm going to enjoy some of these, one of these yeast rolls. And let me taste. That way I can give my assessment while we're on, still on. Oh, it smells so good. That is good. That is very good actually. Oh man. Put a little bit of jelly on here. Oh, this is ridiculous. Oh, okay.